Hi, I'm Lisa Wisner, the host of PowerUp Hero. PowerUp Hero is a podcast all about living a powered up life. Because let's face it, living your best life and juggling a busy workload, that can be close to impossible. I found hundreds and hundreds of PowerUp life hacks and systems that will help you automate your life and be time smart. So instead of spending your time, you're using it to actualize your potential. And I'm so excited for you to join me on my podcast, PowerUp Hero, so you can power up your life to live to your fullest potential.
If you haven't joined us before for one of our Life Beyond the Island presentations, these are a lot of fun. This is our third one that we've done. The very first one we did was on wellness and mental health with Adam Farrell. We did a second one on budgeting like a boss with another fellow alum, Travis Kruger. And if you're unfamiliar with what Life Beyond the Island is, this is a new series that the Alumni Association has launched in coordination with Career Services at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. And it's a series of collections of talks and conversations, presentations featuring Islander alumni that talk about different things that fall outside of the curriculum of a typical classroom. So consider these like TED Talks, but with an Islander twist. And we realize as alumni that there's a lot of things as students that you don't necessarily learn in the classroom that you need for the real world. So our hope is to give you a little bit of guidance from mental health and budgeting to stocks, buying a car, renting a new place, video interviewing. We hope to give you a few more tools that you can use as you're nearing graduation, or if you've just graduated, or even if you've been out of school for a little while. Hopefully you can learn a few things that will teach you something along the way. Now, to get to today's speaker, because I know that's why everybody's here. Everyone's here to hear from Lisa. I've known Lisa for probably a decade now. I've known you for a while, Lisa. I've never met someone that does more with the amount of time that they're given. She's got a beautiful family, which you'll get to see, but she's a very successful career woman. She's been on reality television before. She loves this community. She loves this city. List goes on and on. So I'll do her formal bio and then we'll introduce her and she can get kind of going along the way. Before we do that though, we are giving away some cool prizes tonight. We're giving away a few items from Lisa's website. We're also giving away an Amazon Alexa package worth over $100. So if you want to win that, two super easy things you need to do in the comment section below this video, just tell us what year you graduated or that you're going to graduate, and then tell us also what your major was or what major degree you have. That's all you have to do. Just comment below. We'll pick a winner a little bit today in today's program. And then also, if you have any questions and you're curious about anything, need clarifications, put the questions in the comments. We'll get to those a little bit later in this evening as well. As for today's Life Beyond the Island presenter, she is a Kenyan-born Lisa Wisner, class of 2004-2007. She's an award-winning television personality and runner-up on The Apprentice, and currently serves her community as the manager of human capital services at the city of Corpus Christi. In this role, she works with many different organizations to make their products and services connect better with their teams and their community. She graduated with highest honor from Texas A&M Corpus Christi, earning a bachelor's degree in communication. Later got a master's degree in educational technology in 2007. And she even played golf for the women's golf team here on the island as well. Lisa is the founder of PowerUp.org, which she'll tell you all about tonight, and also how we can make our lives a little bit more efficient and a little bit more amazing. So with that, I want to introduce tonight's Life Beyond the Island speaker, Miss Lisa Wisner.
Thank you, Russell. I'm so excited that we are here. And, I think for me, the most exciting thing is that I got invited to be here. But, I have to tell you, everything that I've ever done, I remember coming to the Island University and feeling like I was immediately at home. I was very nervous. Like Russell said, I came from Nairobi, Kenya, came here on a scholarship. So coming here, it was like, oh, what is this? Is this for real? And it was for real. I feel like I found a family. I met Russell. So Russell and I go way back, way back. And you know what that means if you're a college student.
Probably too far back, yeah. Probably too far back.
Way too far back. We don't want to bring that up.
No.
But I have seen Russell's career just take off. And now, Russell, to be in the position that you're in, I see it. And of course, we were kids when we were in college together, we're hanging out and stuff. And now you are just this amazing person. And just, you introduced me and I'm thinking, wow, we've done a lot in the short time that I guess you could say in the span of our lifetime. So thank you so much.
Of course, thank you. I will let you take it away. This is all about you. So I'll let you present. I know you have a lot to go through tonight. So I'll let you take it away with your Power Up method.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to ask everybody, first of all, fasten your seatbelt. You're in for a ride. Today, you're going to learn how to power up your life. I am going to be tagging in Russell every now and then, but it's okay if he's not there. I will definitely be trying to get some information just to make sure that, I'm used to seeing people. And through this whole COVID thing, I'm pretty sure y'all are feeling like how I'm feeling. Like, whatever happened to people? Like, I really like seeing people and communicating. And now here I am. My best friend is the computer and my Zoom screen. Come on. No, we need some people. So my name, again, like is Lisa Wisner, and I'm the founder and CEO of an organization called PowerUp. And the most exciting thing for me is when I decided to launch PowerUp, it was because I saw an opportunity where we could all work together and capitalize on our strengths. I think the most important thing here to know is that anytime you're trying to do something, you can't do it alone. And I learned that a long time ago. So let's go ahead and get started so you can learn a little bit about my method. You've heard about the things I've been able to do, but I want to give you the blueprint that I discovered literally after I graduated with my bachelor's degree. I went and got my first full-time job, and I created this model. Of course, I've refined it over time, but I created this model, like literally, I remember sitting on my desk making it. So let's go ahead and get started. So Russell, you're tag teaming with me, so let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So Russell already introduced me, but I'm the founder of an organization called PowerUp, and we're all about optimizing you to live your best life. We create systems that are matched with ancient wisdom. I'm all about understanding that we come from somewhere. We must understand the platform that we're on. And then we tack on that modern science. And then just like the optimized coach I am, we try to give you tools, practical tools to get done fast. Because we don't have all the time in the world, okay? Everybody's like trying to juggle everything. You're a college student or you're just graduated and you're trying to make it all fit. And you're trying to have an amazing life. So how can we move quickly, okay? So the next slide, Russell, is going to give people a taste of where I come from. Because the trouble is, ladies and gentlemen, you think you have time to do it all. And sometimes you relegate yourself to, I'll just do that tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, I'll make that trip tomorrow, I'll start that business whenever, right? You actually don't have time. And if you look at the next slide, it tells you that the next slide is all about how much time you actually have. So if you go to the World Bank, they do a lot of research on human capacity, optimizing humans, so we can learn how to live better. So, they help you with food, with housing, with all the different things that have to do with humans. But you have to understand, as a human, you are unique in your sense of who you are, but we all have to do the same thing. And they figured out that after it's all said and done, you're going to spend most of your life sleeping. You're going to spend a portion of it asleep, right? And then a portion of it working. But the most important thing here is you only have 9 years left to make all your dreams come true. So whether you wanted to take a trip somewhere, you wanted to start a business, you just want to hang out at the beach or whatever it is, right? The point is you only have 9 years, and that's when you are a baby. So now you have less time to make your dreams come true. So the next slide is really a quote that resonates with me, which is each of us have valuable talents, and the more we know about them, the more we can understand what makes us special and how we can use our talents to do things exceptionally well. And the next slide just kind of gives you a little taste of books that I am interested in and why this model works. I didn't come up with this model, just woke up one morning with it. It's because I've read and I've taken courses and I've just distilled this into an idea that came to me. And it's all about this book it's not all about this book, but this book from Charles Duhigg kind of sets it in pace for me because I graduated with a degree in computer science. So I see myself as an algorithm builder. I see myself as coding my life. So think about your life like it is coding, right? If you were to automate your life, you would set it up like a computer does. It follows steps and it never does things twice. It creates iterations. We need to learn how to do that so we can become more successful in our life. So this quote is, in the age of automation, knowing how to manage your focus is more critical than ever before. And I'm sure you'll agree that you get bombarded with information everywhere. And all the information that comes through is just a distraction to you living your best life. And how can you actually get to a point where you are successful? It's about the next slide, which is where focus goes, energy flows. I absolutely love Tony Robbins. I remember, you remember when people used to stay up late and watch infomercials? I don't know if that's even a thing anymore with Netflix and all the other things we do. But I remember just stumbling upon Tony Robbins and thinking, who is this guy? He's got a deep voice and he's yelling at me and he's telling me massive action, fun, right? And I remember thinking, this is the kind of thing that makes things happen. And when you're in college and you stumble across things like this, it kind of changes you. So I want to let you know that sometimes you have plans. So if you look at the next slide, it talks about how, you set a plan for yourself. But the reality kicks in on the next slide where you see that things happen, right? So we're in 2020. Some people are calling 2020 a dumpster fire or whatever that means, right? They're like, 2020, right? The dumpster fire we're in. It's pretty much like it was supposed to be Vision 2020. You see your best life. And it's turned into something that I call the reality. And I say perfect. Because anytime you get comfortable and you think, oh, yeah, I can do that, you have failed. Because anytime you want to be successful, you need to know you're going to fail. So yes, you're getting your degree in what you want and you're going to graduate. Yes. But you have to understand that you may not get that job that you wanted right away. And even when you get to that job, it may not make all your dreams come true, and you may need to pivot in your career. And understanding that is really where the success comes in. So I'm going to share with you multiple tools. One of the next slides talks about a passion planner. I remember first finding a passion planner and thinking, what is this? It's so amazing. And then the next slide shares a book that I created. So I think it was like 2014, is when I decided to create my own yearbook. I remember my son came home from school and, you've heard about yearbooks, and we're looking through his yearbook, and it was really a good catalog of all the things the school had done in the year. And I thought, what a great way to capture everything I've done. So I started to create my own yearbooks, and actually, this was my very first yearbook I made. It was just a binder, and it literally just had pages and pages. And anytime I learned something, I would stack it in there. And for the next 2 years, I did the same thing. Now I've actually created it into a system, and I'm giving it to you for free, digitally. But I think Russell's going to give away like physical copies, right, Russell?
Yes. We'll make that available in the comments at the end of the presentation, so everyone can download it. Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys get to win, so I'm so excited. So if you look at the next slide, okay, the next slide shows you what actually happened. So I'm in my office stacking these books because I have a partnership with multiple organizations that helps me show you how to do this. One of them is Office Depot. So I'm the curator of bullet journaling for Office Depot. And so I do kind of all their end caps, and I make sure all the bullet journaling stuff is there. But if you look at the next slide, you need to be able to take things with you. And I'm all about digital. I'm all about optimization with the digital. So whatever information you learn from us, you need to learn that you're going to be able to take it all online. So all the steps I'm showing you today, you're going to be able to go to our website, which is powerupwork.org, and actually download this entire program and start to do it on your own digitally. So today is just a snapshot. I'm sure Russell would have loved me to be here for 8 hours to talk through the whole program, but I'm really just giving you a snapshot, okay? Just know that there's a lot that goes into this. It's a yearbook. We cannot talk about a year's worth of progress right now. So I want you to take that charge and go to this website so that you can get more information. So let's dig into what this protocol is. The PowerUp Delta is really built as a triangle, which, if you don't know this, but the triangle is the strongest shape in the universe. And essentially, I don't even know how it happened, but I came up with it and then found out that a triangle is the strongest shape. So how amazing is that? The first part of the peak is to discover yourself. The second is to model. And the third is to automate. When you discover yourself, you really truly understand what is your purpose and why do you exist. And then when you go into the modeling phase, we understand that you don't start from zero. You have a platform. And second, don't reinvent the wheel. If somebody has already done what you want to do, somebody has a career that is the career of your dreams, find out who they are and model them. And then the automation, which is rinse and repeat. It's the reiteration of just making sure that you're getting that ROI that you started with. So let's go to the next slide, which actually shows that the most successful thing that you can do for your life is understand, yes, the model, but I want to share the entire model with you. Now, I know Russell is my little, Russell, are you helping me? You're helping me with the slides, right?
Yep, so I got it. We're right on cue.
Perfect. So the first one is the talent code, right? So your talent code is really the DNA of who you are. I call it your just like your DNA is created so you're unique, you need to understand what makes you unique. And the fastest way to do that is to take assessments. So when you grab that book, you'll be able to take some personality assessments to be able to understand more about who you are. And then the second part of the model is a powerful purpose. really understanding your purpose is what makes your life worth living. The reason you throw those covers off when you're going on a vacation is because you know that, oh my gosh, I'm going to have fun, right? It's important to start to live your life in that lens. And discovering your purpose is not something that you should take lightly. You need to do that right away. The third step is to develop a good foundation. If you know how tall a building is going to be built, then you know how deep they need to dig the foundation. Okay? So that's how deep you need to go into understanding. If you're going to build your life like it's a little shrub, well, then you can just kind of move on with, like, binging on Netflix till midnight and then thinking you can wake up at 6 a.m. and be productive. Yeah, that's not going to happen. But if you know you want to live your best life, then you have to build protocols in your life where you're being the best version of yourself when you show up to your work. So we'll build some good foundations. We'll dig deep and build some good foundations. The next step is the modeling phase. We're all about modeling your powering up your champions. Find out who your champions are. Who can you model? Some people say, yes, Lisa, I want to model you. Well, then they come to our coaching program, and I coach them once a month on a Saturday. We get together, and we just kind of talk through all the things you want to do in your life. And that's all free through the PowerUp.org website. So PowerUp.org is a nonprofit, and our goal is to really provide opportunities where everyone rises up. So you need to understand that you don't do this on your own. You can never get from point A to point B on your own. So find out who your champions are, model them. Do you know how they eat, how they sleep, how they built their business? How did they get the idea for what they did? What courses did they take to get the career that they have? And maybe what areas did they pivot so that they could be successful? Start from there. The fifth step of the process, Russell, is to power up your planning. And I know we talk about planning all day long, but it's very important for you to know that there is a process to this madness. You'll notice that as we get closer and closer to the end of the Power Up model, it starts to be on autopilot. And you kind of can't mess it up. In the beginning, you're kind of thinking about your purpose and you're kind of figuring things out. But as you get closer and closer to optimizing, you just know what you need to do, and you're literally just checking boxes. So we're going to help you create a plan, a blueprint. Literally, it's like you're building a house and you have a blueprint of how to live your best life. The sixth step is to power up your spice. So we're not talking about cooking here, even though, yes, we need to eat well so we can be healthy and strong. It's important to know your spice is society, your partners, your investors, your customers, and your employees. This may sound like a business concept, but it's not. You need to understand that society is really what you're in service to, right? So we can talk about that through the Power Up model. You can learn about that. And then your partners, these are people you get to work with. These are like, if you're in a family like me, my husband is one of my partners. My kids are my partners. My employees are my partners. My coworkers are my partners, right? So we work together. How do you power up your partners so that so you can capitalize on their strengths? You can't do it all alone. You don't have all the strengths in the world. So you need to know, where do you have gaps and how can you fill those gaps with partners? The next is your I, which is your investors. If you're in college right now and your parents paid for your education, they are your investors. If the federal government is paying for your education, they are your investors. And have you thought about them lately? Have you thought about how you have the things you have right now, how you have the luxuries you have? Who is investing into your life? And it's not just about finances. It's also about emotional support. Powering up your investors helps to make sure that you always have a regenerative way of living your life. And then the C is your customers. Everyone needs to learn how to sell. I don't care who you are. If you are not a business, you're going to walk in one day to an interview and you're going to need to sell yourself. You are the product now. So you need to know how to sell yourself, right? So you got to learn sales, and that's where the C comes in. We learn how to power up our customers. Who's your customer and who are you trying to serve? And then the E is all about employees, and that's who we get to serve. And I always say that my employees are really my family, right? So like, I really feel like I'm taking care of them so that I can also be taken care of. So I have to have servant leadership when I do the things I do. The seventh part of the process is to power up your targets. I'm going to say something, and I may say it differently, and I want you to just listen and be active in your listening, okay? So take a breath and listen. Fire, ready, aim, right? What do you usually hear? You usually hear, right, Russell, what do we usually hear? Ready, aim,
fire,
right? And what happens? Everyone gets stuck in ready. They're like, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to do that thing. I'm getting ready to go back to college. I'm getting ready to go apply for jobs, right? And you just keep getting ready, ready, ready. You keep taking a class, you keep signing up for stuff, and you never get there because it's called procrastination, assassination of your dreams, okay? And so you need to make sure that you just fire. Do not let 24 hours go by when you have an idea. If you have an idea, you need to do the minimum viable product and execute within 24 hours. I call it ship day. If I have an idea, I type FedEx. I'm like, FedEx, show up right now before midnight. I gotta ship this idea however I need to, because you just gotta fire. Then take a step back and then analyze the data. Did you fail? Did you learn something? And then get ready to aim again, okay? Now you get strategy. But don't let 24 hours pass when you have an idea. Just fire and then learn from that. And I call it the beta stage. You hear about businesses going through beta stages. This is like the beta. You're just trying things out. And call your life beta. You can have plan A, B, C, D, and all the letters of the alphabet plus numbers. That's the goal of your life. You will fail. And very swiftly into number 8, which is power up your algorithms. I am all about building systems. If then statements. If this, then that, execute Y. Enter what happens, right? And if you live your life like that, then you will be successful. For me, I kind of have systems in place for the way I eat, move, and sleep. And if you follow the Optimized Coach program like I do, then you will learn that these are so important. Your energy actually translates to how you show up at work. And then the way you love into the world translates into how you do your work. And we're going to spend 70% of our lives working. And wouldn't you want to do that better? The way you do that better is by making sure you optimize algorithms. And this is the next language you need to learn. I believe that we teach coding, but it's important to know that you need to code yourself into success in your life. You need to understand how machine learning is so successful now, right? And so we talk about machine learning. We talk about you guys are going to be winning Alexas, right? How does Alexa know anything, right? It's coded in there. She gets the answers from somewhere. To build algorithms in your life, and I'll teach you how to build human algorithms for your optimization. And then last but not least, and actually this really should be the first one, but we call it the plus one, is optimizing your failures. Powering up failure is really the number one thing to learn. It's because I'm sure you've tried to do something and failed. And how did that feel? I always do a post-mortem on my failures. And I have my little journal here, but I have another one that's my failure journal. And I literally go through it and said, what did I expect to happen that didn't, right? So through my tears, I'm really just thinking through like, I really wanted to win or whatever it was, right? And if I didn't win, what was I expecting? I was expecting to win. Okay. And how would it have felt to win? Okay. What did I do to make myself not win? And what was beyond my control? Sometimes you try your hardest and it just doesn't work out, right? But you need to learn from that. You need to do a post-mortem on it. Because your dream died, and how do you bring it back? And you shake yourself off, right? Have a good cry about it, and then you move on. But if you look at the next slide, we have Bill Gates telling us that the first rule of any technology used in a business is that automation applied to an efficient operation will magnify the efficiency. The second is that automation applied to an inefficient operation will magnify the inefficiency. Basically, if you do not have systems in your life, and you think that now you're going to optimize, it's not going to work because you're going to realize how bad you are living your life, right? So it's important to know that as much as we talk about automating your life, you have to start from scratch. So I always say analog before digital. I'm all about going digital, going fully tech. But if you don't even know why, then how are you ever be successful? Again, you will magnify the inefficiencies of your system. So I just want to close just by giving you more access to what we have available to you. You need to go to our website and download the yearbook, okay? And if you download it, you'll also have access to the little lessons that are presented in there that teach you step by step. We have some videos in there that teach you step by step how to use the things. I have my yearbook here. It's my physical yearbook. I tab it. I write in it. But I also have it digitally. So depending on the circumstance, I don't even have it here in front of me. I just need to have, I like touching things. That's why I'm a bullet journaler. I just have this way of trying to do things. So if you're digital, on the next slide, it shows you on iPad with our model. You can put it on your iPad and just go through it like a digital planner. So you can use it as a digital planner. But the next slide shows you why I do what I do. I think when we talk about purpose, I needed to just tell you that the reason that I live my life the way I do is because I believe that we're all brought into this earth to serve people. And when I think about my purpose, I think no one else can be mom to my boys like I can. No one else can be wife to my husband like I can. There's no one else. So if he really wants to, if I want my husband to know like he has an awesome wife, then I'm gonna dig deep and be super wife. Okay? I even have a book about that, y'all. This book here that I picked up about how to be a super wife. But if I want to be a super mom, right? I've got to figure it out. And this is what centers me. When I know that I'm making decisions and they're outside of that line, then I very quickly switch myself back to the mode of these people that you see in front of you. These are the reasons why I feel like I'm successful. So as much as I am telling you at the end what to do and the step by step, you have to start with discovery. If you don't understand why you're doing the things you're doing, then you'll always fall and you'll always just fall back to what the external is seeing. And you have to have internal ROI before you seek external ROI. So in closing, I want to give you 3 tips. The first is to be authentic. Be yourself. Do not try to be somebody else. There is another person to be that somebody else. There's one person, and that is you. And you need to capitalize on that and really use that to be successful in your life. Don't try to be somebody else that you're not, okay? The second is to brand yourself. If you're a student right now, you need to understand that you are a brand. Whatever you're trying to study and become an expert in, start to brand yourself as that. At the very least, get on LinkedIn and start to be engaged in that space. Be that person who, when people are wondering, how do you become a lawyer? How do you become a doctor? How do you become an educator? How do you become whatever it is you want to do? Brand yourself as that and start being able to say things like, I say I want to be a world-class inclusion strategist that optimizes talent development around the world. Like, you should be able to say that without even blinking an eye, right? In your sleep. You're sleepwalking, saying talent development expert of the world, right? You should be able to say that, okay? So brand yourself so you know where you live. And then the next thing is to have a plan. Make a plan and work the plan. I'm Lisa Wisner. I am your talent development expert. I'm also your proud Islander, go Islanders. And I'm so excited that I graduated from really, I think, the most amazing university in the entire world. The only university on its own island, by the way. So if you are an Islander right now, you just need to feel it. You need to like put some music on and like brush your shoulders off because you know you hit the jackpot. Because I truly believe that I became successful because I became a student at A&M Corpus Christi, and all the opportunities that were presented to me were just because I went to a university that cared about me as a person, and they included me and my Kenyanness into the sense of what it is like to be an Islander. And I truly believe that you are going to be successful if you really and truly take the Islander way and use what messages Russell is giving. I mean, he went through all these classes that, by the way, I'm going to be tuning into, how to buy stocks and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm signing up for these classes. So with that, I want to give the presentation back to Russell and thank him so much for letting me grace, I guess, his page with my presence. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Lisa. We'll open it up for some questions. If anyone has any questions, they can put them in the chat window. What I'm I mean, you've got a very unique journey that brought you to A&M Corpus Christi, and you started as a computer science major. And some would argue is, I think this is probably pieces of things you learned from your education as a computer science major, but this is very different from what you learned in the classroom. So what was it that kind of sparked you, that kind of sparked your interest in really, I mean, for people that don't know you, you're all about making the people better around you. So at what point did that kind of switch flip in you, and what makes that such a big part of your life?
I'll never forget, I was working in the student activities office, and my boss was, Esmeralda McGee was there, Deidre Graves, Stephanie Box. So we all worked and I was a student worker. And Deidre Graves hosted a student employee, I guess, workshop. We did like a little retreat, and she gave everybody the 7 habits of highly effective people. And before that, I was just kind of coasting through life. And I remember getting this planner. It was like a Franklin Covey planner. And, you just kind of like, oh, thanks for the gift. But I started listening to the CD that was in there, and it was Stephen Covey talking about the 7 habits of highly effective people. And over time, I started realizing that, wow, learning computers is really like human, right? If you can code it, if you can codify your life, imagine if you could run your life like a computer runs. You turn your computer on, it turns on, and it does the things you want done. So I think I started to connect those dots, and it wasn't until I got my job at the university, I got my first job working at the university as a system support specialist in the server room, coding, and just building systems. And I remember connecting with my boss, Laura Rosales, and she really pushed me to start to understand that I had a talent from bringing people and technology together. And so I really felt like if people learn how to use all these tools, I have my Apple Watch, I have my phone, I got my iPad, I got my computer, I even wear a Fitbit, and you can wear an Aura ring. There's so many things you can do in your life, but for what? For all this data, what is it for? And so I've become really good at distilling that. So yes, it's an unorthodox way of coming through a career, right? From totally CS, and now I'm a people. I guess I teach people how to be optimized. But I think for me, it's just about understanding that I want to optimize, right? So I want to make things better, whether it's a computer system or a people system. You just have to make it better.
We'll include, of course, links in the comments for everyone to access everything on your website and there learn more about it and get into the program. Aside from PowerUp, what are some simple things that you do in your daily life to keep you organized? I mean, you showed a photo. It's like you've got a husband that works full time. You've got a full-time job. You have this nonprofit on the side. You've got 3 beautiful kids. I joke and I say, I don't know how she sleeps, but I really don't know when she sleeps. So what are some little things that you do to kind of keep your life together?
They do. So the very first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I work my prime time protocols. And sometimes it takes me 30 minutes, but I do it even if it takes me 5 minutes, I do those protocols. And it's about hydrating. It's about making sure I have silence, affirmation, meditating. I do my really quick burpees. So there's certain things you have to do. And one thing I can tell you, Russell, it doesn't matter what happens in the day, but you only have control of the way you start your day and the way you end your day. And if you can control the bookends, like this is from Darren Hardy, if you can control the bookends of your life, then you have control. If you can control how you wake up and how you go to sleep, because you're a human. And the only way that you are able to be the person you are today is because you went to sleep, okay? And you regenerated and you are able to show up as your fully present person ready to do the work. And I'm sure, Russell, you'll agree that when you had a good night's rest and you've had good food and you're nourished and you're taken care of and your mental capacity is right, when you show up to work, you're on fire, right? And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for you to be on fire with everything you do. And I think one thing I can tell you, Russell, is if I'm doing something, then I need to do it well. Because if you waste time kind of dragging, right? If we're both running a race and I get there quickly, I'm done and I've moved on to something else. But when you are, you just kind of wake up in the morning. I just kind of stumbled out of bed and I just kind of got some coffee. I don't even know. I haven't had breakfast, right? You can't live like that. I'm already gone. I'm already done 50% of what you thought you were going to do in a day, right? So you got to just have processes in your life.
I hate to reference a movie quote, but in the movie Hitch, it says, start each day as if it were on purpose. And I think that's really good advice, especially for the students out there. We did have a question from Paige Martinez. She was wondering, do you have one planner or do you follow multiple planners as far as like keeping your personal life versus like work life separate?
Paige, I am a planner addict. So this is probably why I made my own. Because I have all of them. So you saw me share Passion Planner, blah, blah, blah. So that's why I made my own, okay? Because I kind of feel like I hacked all the things I like of all of them. But this is how I do my planning. I don't do it on paper. I do bullet journaling. So I have my weekly spread, which you can download from my website. You can download the weekly spread that I use. And then I have Asana. I don't know if you know the app. You can use Asana. It's a website. And it tracks your tasks. So I would say at the very least, you need to be using Google, okay? So if you're using anything but Google, then sorry. So you need to get a Google account. You need to use Asana, first of all, and then you need to store all your documents in the cloud. So don't even try to like put stuff on your computer. And then use something called Google Keep, okay? And then you can sync Asana, Google Keep, and Trello. So I also use Trello. And those three all those systems, I have everything with me all the time. And when you create an Asana account, it lets you categorize. So I have my categories are work. So I have my job, and then I have PowerUp, And then I have Live, Love, Lisa. So that's all the stuff I want to do for myself. And then I have Wiz, and I just call ourselves the Wisner family. So that's things I do for my family. And then I have Extra. And this Extra is kind of like, yeah, I just kind of feel like doing it, but I'm not sure. And if I don't want to, I can email Russell and go, Russell, remember that thing I said I was going to do? I'm just not feeling it anymore. Right. So there's some stuff you may sign up for, and you're just kind of like, I feel like doing it, but I may get busy, right? And and that's to be honest, because you can't say yes to everything. So you have to know when things, you're just kind of like, yeah, I just kind of don't want to do that anymore. So I categorize my projects like that, and then that's how I work through it. So Asana, I use Asana, and I have my weekly spread that always lives on my iPad, and I use my Apple Pencil. So I'm actually really writing. It's not something that's typed in. I write it because I like bullet journaling.
Lisa, big thank you for joining us. Of course, she's a great follow on Twitter and Instagram.